President Rodrigo R Duterte.
Para sa pagbabago, sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tapo. Madilim na
The President, together with Senator Bongo, is now being ushered towards the viewing deck for a project briefing by the Task Force Banggon-Marawi Chairman and Secretary of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Secretary Eduardo del Rosario. With them is the National Housing Authority General Manager Marcelino Escalada Jr.
Building sports complex that necessary materials in 2 weeks' time. They can finish the sports complex in 6 months' time. Yung convention center will be located there. And the area ongoing ngayon is the Grand Market na 1 hectare sir ang plot area. So ito sir ang what it will look like within your term as a president. Matatapos sir ang halos lahat ng project by March 10 April. So ito sir yung naka-peace memorial that extends to our present situation. To our right sir will be the Marawi Museum, itong sa kanan niyo sir. Yan sir ang Marawi Museum. Dito sir sa right side, yung School of Living Tradition. And this will be sir the Rizal Park na gagawa tayo sa Nagulto ni Rizal over there. Now, with regards to our temporary and permanent shelter na ginagawa ngayon, ipapakita sir sa inyo ni June Escalada yung ating mga projects. Sa scale model.
This is the proposed Marawi Sports Complex.
President is now being shown
Our budget is
miniature
200
model
million.
of the Islamic city
Then
of
we have
Marawi
the
and the projects
convention
being
center,
undertaken
capacity
by the
1,500
task force.
convention
The
center.
miniature model
180 million
showcases
there.
the
If
projects
you can
at their
recall,
actual
may,
location.
180 million donation from Hong Kong National that you received. So, di rin ako ibutang. Then this is our convention center. Now, ang atong reference is this is the whole MAA, the most affected area. 250 hectares tanan. All our housing sites naa sa outside MAA. Number one is atong permanent shelter. 1,500 ni. So, more or less, the permanent shelter is 46 square meter ang floor area, 3 bedrooms. Then 90 ang lot area niya. 750 each, phase 1 at phase 2. All in all, 1,500. Our 4,600 temporary shelters nga karon puno na. It's 100%. Number 1 atong sa Bunsungan. This is 5 kilometers from here. So very relatively nearer sa ilahang population. Okay, that is the whole of the Marawi. That's 1,000 na siya, Mayor.
Ito last year nag-ituan nato bago ng pandemic. Asa to the housing?
March. Yan, sa Gunsungan. Sa
January
si
of 2018.
Rudy ang nag-initiate ni Sen for the 1,000 Area 1, Area 2, Area 3, 4, 5, and 6. Puno na siya karon. Then, we have another Rurugagos. This is also another temporary shelter that's already 95% complete. So, occupied na po na siya, Mayor, Mr. President. We have Puganga, Phase 1 at saka Phase 2. That's already 100% occupied. And the last two is Patani and Dulay. So Dulay is more or less 7 kilometers from the most affected area. So, Kini Mayor, with reference to our temporary and one permanent shelter around 1,500. Hopefully, all of this will be completed towards the end of the year. So, If you can recall, Mayor, mo ni ato ang kwan, Bangulo Bridge, the primary. So si NHA gihapon na naghimuan primary, which is 1.6 kilometers, secondary 6 kilometers, the tertiary is 15.6 kilometers. So all in all, katong mas Marawi Rise Plan to Banggon-Marawi, resilience, identity, sustainability, and evolution, we reduced the amount from 36 billion to 13 billion only under your administration. So we did not also compromise the quality sen. So while minimal kayo, economical atong rehabilitation, but the quality is up and standards.
Mo yung gituan ni PRRD sa unang.
Mapandi Bridge.
Mo na yung may picture ka ngayon.
The famous Mapandi Bridge.
Yan, pinuntahan mo.
The Mayor, the first outside Metro Manila is a lead wall nga 9 by 11 meters. Our purpose is the lead wall, since limited ang movement sa tao, all of the people in Marawi will view the rehabilitation inside during the rehabilitation. But after the rehabilitation, the lead wall will serve as information, communication to the people of Marawi. Yeah, this is what it's all about. So we are still on time, Mr. President, to deliver everything before your term ends.
And we are constructing a port facility here, Mr. President, para magkaroon tayo ng pagpunta nila sa mga different municipalities around the lake, magagamit na yung port, Roro or pwedeng water sports will be conducted here in the lake itself.
One question here. 8 months to go. Kasi may good 13 June.
It was not at
Almost.
This one, Mr. President and Sen, we are just waiting for the deliveries of all the fabricated steel bars. In 6 months' time, we'll have substantial completion of this. Kasi bolted siya to.
Dito tayo, no?
We're here.
Ito yung gagawin nyo. Ito yun.
Yan, dalawa. So that's assigned to NHA to construct the 1,000 seating capacity.
Yan ang promenade. Promenade.
So in 6 months' time, tapos tayo.
Then ito sir, the whole stretch will be a promenade where people can stroll for 2 kilometers.
Wala na bang ipakita?
Ito lang siya, Mr. President.
May I about to say na maupo. I'm sorry, I forgot to. Upo kayo. Maupo lang kayo. Upo lang daw kayo.
Please be seated.
Bolted na, maabot na yung tanan ng steel bars na to. So in 6 months' time, tayo siya.
Asa ginapublicate ang
Nag-import na from Vietnam. So the Vietnam steel bars are coming in on October 28. In 6 months' time, tapos tayo.
nakaabot pa tayo ng Vietnam.
Ang challenge, Mayor, is that Marawi it rains every afternoon. So if we continue to have the concrete pouring and everything, the curing period is 14 days, 28 days. So mas ma-delay tayo. So technology-wise, mas maayo if we will have steel bars.
Ganda.
Puno na, nanay tao may dito ko kikan gahapon. Puno na tanan.
So that's a example of a barangay hall na ginagawa natin.
Overlooking the
Parang,
view deck, the President
municipal
may
hall na
see
sa mga-
the ongoing construction of the Sarimanok Sports Stadium, the Peace Memorial Park, the White Mosque, the Grand Padian or Market, among many others.
So we foresee that this will be a water sports area na will attract tourism. The second biggest lake in the whole countryside is Lake Marawi. This, yes, sir. And it will trigger tourism in Mindanao. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, President Rodrigo R Duterte.
Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang
Please be seated.
bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A pleasant afternoon to everyone, and welcome to the commemoration of the 4th anniversary of the liberation of Marawi City from terrorist influence here at the Rizal Park, Marawi City. To formally begin our program, let us call on Marawi City Mayor, Attorney Mahul Gandamra for his welcome remarks.
My highest courtesy to His Excellency, our good President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo R Duterte. Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa, Secretary Delphine Lorenzana, Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo, Secretary Eduardo Del Rosario, Governor Mamintal Bombet Alonto Adyong, Secretary Carleto Galvez Jr., Secretary Rolando Joselito Bautista, Police General Guillermo Eliazar, National Housing General Manager Marcelino P. Escalada Jr., Secretary Saidamen B. Pangarungan, Secretary Abdullah Dabs Mamao, Secretary Eduardo Anyo, sir, and the different cabinet secretaries, undersecretaries, the Chief of the Army, General Centino, and other officials of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, officials of the Philippine National Police, media friends, fellow workers of the government, Sultan Nasser Sampako, the chairman of the Sultanate League. To all of you, again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is an honor and privilege for me to welcome you all to this culmination program to solemnly mark an occasion important to the history of the Islamic city of Marawi. Exactly on this week and on this very month, 4 years ago, a nation tenacious and sustained effort to free the only Islamic city in the country from the forces that had besieged it for months had finally succeeded. For 5 or 6 anguish-laden months, we will have seen the damage sustained and the suffering of those who have gone through it. And now, 4 years on, we are commemorating the end of the Marawi siege, among other activities, by holding this very simple program. Marawi City may not yet be where it is supposed to be right now, ladies and gentlemen. The process of picking the pieces has not gone very smoothly and had taken a great deal of twists and turns. But then, we must all bow our heads in humility and gratefulness that the siege is no more, that the uncertain and undesired fate that might have awaited Marawi at the hands of her captors did not materialize. We now thrive on the hope that in the course of the following years, Marawi will fully rise again. The culmination program that we will be undertaking today in memory of the liberation is not just a mere activity of remembrance of what had come to pass not so long ago. It is also a reminder that so much had been sacrificed to free our city from clutches of adversity, and that all of us must never forget that this victory should serve as a motivation a springboard for a better future for all of us. While we are still mourning for what has been lost, we can say that we have survived and will live in hope. This is also an opportunity to reiterate our heartfelt gratitude to the men and women of the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police who bravely fought to set Marawi free all those months. Some of them have lost their lives in the line of duty. Rest assured that their sacrifices have not been in vain. And great thanks are again due to the Task Force Banggon-Marawi, the OPAP, of course the BARM, the provincial government, the national line agencies of the government, non-government organization, civil society, and other groups who saw the survivors through the war and beyond. And of course, greatest thanks, however, are due to none other than but our beloved President for being at the helm and for standing by us in this time of great difficulty. And we would like to reiterate our support for all that his administration has done and is still doing for Marawi City. And because of the continued support of our President, the development of the city's most affected area and the whole city in general has been expedited, while we have only started reconstructing last July 2020, and even the middle of our responses to combat COVID-19 pandemic, which has certainly hampered the full implementation of these projects. It is very much apparent that we now see infrastructures that are either in midway to finish or has already been completed. Through the good President's further support in passing of the compensation bill, in which I am certain that he is certainly looking forward to, we believe that the constituents of Marawi City will have a semblance of justice for what they have lost during the infamous Marawi siege. We, the people of Marawi City, are forever thankful to all of you, and especially to our beloved President. Words have not and will never be enough to express our profound thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, without much further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this event. Naway pagpalain po ni Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ang lahat ng tumulong sa Marawi upang tuluyan itong makabangon. Maraming salamat po, mahal naming Pangulo. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Maraming salamat, Mayor Gandamra. At this point, may we now call on the Governor of the Province of Lanao del Sur, Governor Mamintal Bombet Alonto Adiong Jr. for his message.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. In behalf of the good people of Lanao del Sur, I am expressing my gratitude to His Excellency President Rodrigo R Duterte for joining us this year in commemorating the liberation in Marawi City from the siege of 2017, and for personally checking on the progress of the rehabilitation undertakings of Task Force Banggon-Marawi at the Ground Zero, set to be fully completed according to plans and targets by 2022. We are very hopeful, Your Excellency, that your presence today at Ground Zero will speed up the remaining programs and resolve the other infrastructure's inadequacies so that the displaced families who are still crammed at temporary shelter will be able to return to their normal lives. Nagpapasalamat din po kami, mga Maranao, sa ipinamalas na kabaitan ng Pangulo at pagpapahalaga sa ating tribo, sa dami ng appointees na Maranao, na Assistant Secretary, Undersecretary, Secretary Saidamin Pangarungan, ang yumaong Secretary Abul Khair Alonto, Secretary Abdullah Dabs Mamao, Secretary Jean Mamundyong, Directors ng iba't ibang ahensya, lalo na ang kay Supreme Court Associate Justice Japar Dimaampaw. Nais kong banggitin ang hindi matatawarang aksyon at napaka-importanteng milyahe ng Duterte administration ang Land Reform Program for portions of the military reservations and its legal distribution to former occupants displaced by the Marawi siege. Mariing inaangad naming makitang manumbalik ang sigla ng Marawi. Pagpapatunay na tayo'y nakabangon na sa dagok ng nakaraan sa ating nakagawiang kabuhayan, lalo na dito sa Ground Zero, na siyang nakasanayang sentro ng pamilihan. Ang agarang pagpasa at paglagda ng Marawi Compensation Act ay isa sa mga mahalagang umpisa. Isa sa mahalagang kwento ng pagbangon, handang pagbabalik ng mga mamamayan ng maasa kanilang mga tahanan bago malipasan muli ang bagong taon. Ang katuparan nito, isa sa magiging maganda at hindi malilimutang legasiya ng iyong administration. Alhamdulillah, maraming salamat po, mahal na Presidente. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Maraming salamat, Governor Adyong. Another message will be given by the Secretary of the National Commission on Muslim Filipinos, Secretary Saidamin Pangarungan.
Our beloved Mayor President, His Excellency Rodrigo R Duterte, ang minamahal natin na Senador Christopher Bongo at si Senator Bato de la Rosa, incoming Vice President and President respectively next year, inshallah. Secretary Eduardo del Rosario, Chairman of Task Force Banggon-Marawi, my fellow Cabinet Secretaries, our national officials, and local officials led by Governor Bombit Adyong and City Mayor Mahol Gandamra, my fellow Marawians, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. It is my honor and privilege to be here in this momentous occasion, witnessing the inauguration of the beautifully repaired Grand Mosque and 5 other mosques, and the completed infrastructures in Marawi fills my heart with joy and gratitude. The Grand Mosque of Marawi is the crowning jewel and centerpiece of the Islamic city of Marawi that we are truly proud of. And now, seeing it surpass its old grandeur brings forth hope that tomorrow will be kinder and that lasting peace and development are just around the corner. The affected people of Marawi, including my own Pangarungan family, who were among those hardest hit in the most affected area, have persevered since the Marawi siege of 2017. Truly, the Holy Quran aptly said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward the believers who patiently persevere. Indeed, our perseverance has paid off. We have not waited in vain. In the State of the Nation address of the President, in which I was in physical attendance, I distinctly remember the President declared that the rebuilding of Marawi is a race against time. The President challenged Task Force Banggon-Marawi under the able leadership of its Secretary Eduardo del Rosario to finish the necessary work to rehabilitate the war-torn city and bring its families back home. We thank our beloved President Rodrigo R Duterte for consistently having the rebuilding and restoration of Marawi as a top priority. We also congratulate and thank Secretary Del Rosario for rising to the occasion. Because of Secretary Del Rosario's able and focused management, I understand that 30 infrastructures were already completed and many more are close to completion. We also thank all of the coordinating local governments, national government instrumentalities like the National Housing Authority, and private institutions and organizations for all their efforts to provide our beloved city the restoration and the rehabilitation it deserves. I think I speak for the people of Marawi when I say that we hope for more support projects and lofty efforts like the Marawi Compensation Bill that will compensate the private properties of the people of Marawi. And this bill was passed recently by the lower house and is nearing approval in the Senate. If enacted into law, the Marawi Compensation Bill, our traumatized residents in the most affected area will find complete solace, relief, and peace in their way back home. Again, maraming salamat po sa ating mahal na Pangulo, Rodrigo R Duterte, at saka sa Task Force Banggon-Marawi. Dapat lang na suklian natin ito ng tuluyang pagsuporta sa lahat ng projects ng ating Pangulong Duterte, lalong-lalo na sa darating na eleksyon in 2022. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Secretary Pangarungan. And now, may we invite everyone to turn your attention to the screen to hear the Japanese Ambassador Kazuhiko Koshikawa for his video message.
President Rodrigo R Duterte, honorable secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Today marks the 4th anniversary of Liberation of Marawi City. Significant development have surely been made over the years to rebuild what has been lost. I would like to express my deep admiration and respect for the outstanding leadership of President Duterte. He promoted the Mindanao peace process as well as the reconstruction of Marawi and accordingly led us to this memorable day. I am honored to state that Japan has been fully supporting the reconstruction and rehabilitation of Marawi City under the Japan Banggon-Marawi Initiative for Reconstruction and Development, or JBIRD. Trans-Central Road in Langkawi reopened to the public last month is indeed the demonstration of such initiative. In addition, I am pleased to announce that just yesterday, Japan, in collaboration with UN Habitat, provided 150 permanent houses to displaced families in Barangay Kirala. These families will now be able to rebuild their lives with what they can once again call home. The COVID-19 pandemic has posed considerable challenges, but under this joint project, a total of 329 houses have been turned over so far in several parts of the most affected areas. The Philippines is at its critical point of deciding on the extension of Bangsamoro Transitional Authority until 2025. Please be assured that Japan will continue to fully support the Mindanao peace process, as Mindanao is vital for the peace and stability of not just of the Philippines, but also for the entire regions. Thank you very much for your continued trust and support. I'm looking forward to going to Mindanao and meeting all of you. Banggon-Marawi.
Thank you, Ambassador Koshikawa. At this point, please retain your attention on the screen for an audiovisual presentation prepared by the Task Force Banggon-Marawi. This video will highlight our collective journey in undertaking the rehabilitation projects in the Islamic city of Marawi.
Marawi City was considered the economic hub of Lanao del Sur. Consisting of 96 barangays, it is the only city in the province and lone Islamic city in the country. It is also known to be the home of the colorful culture and traditions of Maranaos. However, on May 23, 2017, a firefight broke out between the military forces and members of the ISIS-inspired Maute terrorist group in Barangay Basak, Malutlot. Several attacks were also made by the terrorist group in some parts of the city as diversionary tactics. Dubbed as the longest urban warfare in the history of the country, the siege left dozens killed, property and infrastructures destroyed, and civilians of the city facing the aftermath of the destruction. After 5 months of firefight, government troops crushed terrorist Maute group and restored freedom and peace in the city.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby declare Marawi City liberated from the terrorist influence that marks the beginning of rehabilitation of the city.
The liberation signaled the return of normalcy in the city. President Rodrigo R Duterte established the task force Banggon-Marawi to spearhead the recovery, reconstruction, and rehabilitation of the war-torn city. 56 government agencies joined forces to ensure rapid response to the needs of citizens affected by the crisis. TFBM began rehabilitation efforts by providing emergency assistance like financial, livelihood, food, medicine, and shelter. TFBM then transitioned to the second phase, which is debris management, or the removal of millions of tons of debris brought about by the siege, as well as in recovering and detonating unexploded bombs. The third phase of the rehabilitation is the construction of vertical and horizontal infrastructure, which went on full blast in July last year amid the COVID-19 pandemic.
Kasi namin, yung pamigay na bahay, mga scam lang yan. Parang hindi totoo ba? Parang hindi kami talaga naniniwala na may bibigay sa amin yung mga bahay namin. Kaya laki ng pasasalamat namin, laki ng tuwa namin kasi kumbaga yung nasira namin ng mga bahay, ito napalitan na siya.
Sobrang din pasalamat namin kay Presidente Duterte kasi marami siyang naitulong sa amin. Yung gawain, agad-agad na natatapos.
Nagpapasalamat po kami sa Task Force Banggon-Marawi, sa NHA, sa UN Habitat, DTI, DSWD, kay Presidente Duterte po. Sila po yung may magandang loob na tumulong sa amin.
The national government through TFBM, along with the local government units of Marawi, Lanao del Sur, and Barm, are committed to complete the rehabilitation of Marawi within the term of President Duterte.
Task Force Banggon-Marawi, with the local government unit, Marawi City, and the provincial government, we are together to ensure that the rehabilitation will be undertaken smoothly, and I can assure you that it will be completed within the term of the President.
I will see to it that Marawi will rise as a prosperous city again.
Thank you, Task Force Banggon-Marawi. A resounding round of applause for TFBM. Let us now acknowledge the contribution of some government agencies in uplifting the lives of the residents of Marawi City. May we request the President to witness the ceremonial turnover of government assistance to beneficiaries. First off, may we call on stage the National Housing Authority General Manager, Marcelino Escalada Jr., to hand over certificates of House and Lot Award for permanent housing to certain beneficiaries in Marawi City. At this point, may we ask Mr. Mufid Tanog and Ms. Hanifa Manalao, two recipient representatives of internally displaced persons in Marawi City, to receive on stage their certificates of House and Lot Award for permanent housing from General Manager Escalada. Thank you, General Manager Escalada. Financial assistance was likewise given to cooperatives in Marawi City. May we call on stage Cooperative Development Authority Chairman Joseph Encabo, along with Assistant Secretary Pendaton Disimban, to hand over ceremonial checks to representatives of beneficiaries. First is the ceremonial turnover of check representing 76 million pesos financial assistance for the benefit of cooperatives in Marawi City. Receiving the check on behalf of the Marawi cooperatives are Mr. Abdul Salam Batao, the General Manager of the Organization of Industrial, Spiritual, and Cultural Advancement, or And now, to introduce the guest of honor, help me welcome the Chairman of Task Force Banggon-Marawi and Secretary of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. Help me welcome Secretary Eduardo Del Rosario.
Mga binibini at mga ginoo, ang ating mahal na Pangulo, Mayor Rodrigo R Duterte.
Kindly sit down. Salamat. Ano man itong lectern, ikaw pa ang maghawak. I'm just joking. Task Force Banggon-Marawi Chairman and Human Settlements and Urban Development Secretary Eduardo Del Rosario. Task Force Banggon-Marawi Vice Chairman and Defense Secretary Delfen Lorenzana. Social Welfare and Development Secretary Rolando Bautista. Interior and Local Government Secretary Eduardo Anyo. National Commission on Muslim Filipino Secretary sa Idamayan Pangarungan, Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity, Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr., Presidential Advisors of Overseas Filipino Workers Concerns, Secretary my classmate, Secretary Abdullah Mamao, Senator Bongo, Senator Ronald De La Rosa, who is now a member of the Disabled Philippines. Lanao del Sur First District Representative Absurad Ansurudin Abdul Adjong, Lanao del Sur Second Representative Yasser Walindong. Fellow workers of government, hindi ko man mayroon, marami pa pala. Baka lahat sila ito. Ay, I'm sorry. Bagong sino pinalita niya? Oo, mabigat to. Public Works Secretary si Uging Mercado, Congressman Uging Mercado. Nag-resign na si Villar. So, Public Works, ito, dito pala eh. Former Agrarian Reform Secretary John Casillones, PNP Chief Police General Guillermo Illasar, Cooperative Development Authority Chairman Joseph Incabo, may isa pang page, wala na. Yan na lang. Kaya kung hindi, magbabaan ako. National Housing Authority General Manager Marcelino Escalada, Lanao del Sur Provincial Governor Mamintal Adjung Jr., Marawi City Mayor Gandaram, and other municipal mayors in attendance. Okay na, kilala naman nyo yan siya. Fellow workers in government, mga kababayan, ay salamat. It is my pleasure to join you today as we mark this historic occasion by allowing the rays of hope to light up the darkness that once enveloped the city of Marawi. I congratulate and commend the Task Force Banggon-Marawi, as well as the local officials and other partners for working together to rehabilitate the city. I especially commend the efforts and sacrifices you have poured out for the complete rehabilitation of the Grand Mosque of Marawi. This place holds historical and cultural significance in the lives of the Maranaos. We rejoice as a nation as the Grand Mosque of Marawi brings hope anew to our Muslim brothers and sisters. The continued hard work of Task Force Banggon-Marawi to accomplish the programs, projects, and activities under the Banggon-Marawi Comprehensive Rehabilitation and Recovery Program is truly commendable. By rebuilding the lives of the displaced, yun ang pinaka-importante. Families, restoring damaged properties and revitalizing disrupted socio-economic activities. You have stayed true to your commitment as agents of progress and catalysts for real change. Let me take this opportunity to reassure the people of Marawi that the government is doing its best to expedite the completion of rehabilitation projects at the soonest possible time. We in government are strongly committed to bring back the city's glory, and we will continue to foster cooperation among concerned stakeholders so that Marawi will be able to build back better and stronger. Let me again give recognition to our soldiers and police personnel and local constituency for their bravery, sacrifice, and determination in defending and liberating Marawi City. After 5 months of battle, how sad it is. We pray to God that it will never happen, ever, ever again. To the people of Marawi and to our kababayans, rest assured that this government, this administration, remains steadfast in securing our nation against terrorism, violent extremism, and other lawless elements. With your support, I am confident that we will overcome any challenge that may test our strength and unity as a nation. Let us therefore continue working as one to secure a better, safer, and more prosperous future for all of Marawi. Mabuhay kayong lahat.
Maraming salamat, President Duterte. A resounding round of applause, please.